If you weren't here, you missed a really important day, so I encourage you to watch the video on the class website. 9:24:19. Okay. Factoring is pulling something apart into its little factors that can be multiplied together to give you this result. And so yesterday we talked about first times first had to be the first thing. What times what is x squared? X times x. And then we also said that last times last had to be the last thing. So what times what is negative 14?
72.
Well, that would be positive 14.
7 or negative 7.
Negative 7 and positive 2, or negative 2 and positive 7 give you negative 14. And we definitely want to go with the negative 2 and the positive 7. How do you know if you did it right? Check the rainbow. Yeah, I know. I use such manly words, right? All right. So when you check the rainbow, you're checking the outside and inside product. X times 7 gives you 7x, and negative 2 times x is negative 2x. And when you combine those together, negative 2x and 7x is where that negative... Oh, did I do it backwards? Oh, see, it didn't work that time because we got to change the sign. So we should have used negative 7 and positive 2. Now it goes to negative 7x and positive 2x, and that's where we get the middle term from, right? We are doing the exact same process today, okay, except it's more challenging because we don't have a 1 in front of the x squared anymore, which makes it a lot more challenging, but the process is exactly the same. All right, what does FOIL tell you to do? Distribute, yeah. First times first, and the outside and the inside and last. And you can do that in combined line terms. I just want to move on. All right, here we go. Example 1. This is sort of as a little warm-up, more of what we did yesterday. Factor each trinomial if it cannot be factored right prime. And again, anytime you see the word factor, there are 2 things that you want to do. The first thing you should always do is look for a GCF. And then, once you've done that, then you see if you can double bubble. So factor means greatest common factor and then double bubble. So that's what I want you to get in the habit of asking yourself before you do anything. So looking at this first one here, we have a squared minus 16a plus 28. Is there a greatest common factor? Do they have something in common? No, there's nothing. So, okay, we can avoid that. So let's go jump right to double bubble. And double bubble is unfoiling, foiling in reverse, which we know first times first should give us our first thing. What times what is a squared? A times a. Very good. And then last times last should give us our last thing. What times what gives me a positive 28? Positive 14 and positive 2, or?
7.
Negative 14 times negative 2, 7 times 4, or negative 7 times negative 4. All right. We're generating a list of possibilities here. Also 28 and 1, and negative 28 and negative 1. So which one do you want to use? Negative 14 and negative 2. Good. And how do we know if we did it right? Check the rainbow. Today you must check the rainbow. This is an easy one. This is what we did yesterday. A times negative 2 is negative 2a. Negative 14 times a is negative 14a. And when we combine those, what do we get? We get negative 14 and negative 2 gives us that negative 16a. And that is where that middle term comes from. So you can see by doing our little pattern, we take care of all three terms in that polynomial. All right, that's why I'm circling them, so we get them all. All right, letter B. Is there a greatest common factor? Do they have something in common? Nope, no GCF there. Looks a little bit tricky, but this is exactly the same. First times first has to be the first thing. What times what is a squared? A times A. And then last times last has to be the last thing. What times what is negative 28b squared? So negative 7 times 4 gives us the negative 28, but how do we get the b squared? Negative 7b times 4b, or negative 4b times 7b, or negative 14b times 2b, and vice versa. So again, we're generating this list of possibilities, and which one do you want to try? Negative 7b and positive 4b, sure. Negative 7b and positive 4b, and how do we know if we did it right? Check the rainbow. You must check the rainbow. How do we get that middle term that has an A and a B in it, right? So now when we multiply, A times 4B is 4AB. That's where that middle AB comes from. Negative 7B times A is negative 7AB. And when we add those or combine those, what do we get? Negative 3AB. Okay, so that is correct. I am so hungry. I really don't like conference. It's still like 2 hours until I get to eat. It's awful. Okay. X squared. Oh, that was on film. That's funny. Okay. All right. Do we have a greatest common factor here? No, we do not. So we're going to jump right to double bubble. First times first has to be the first thing. What times what is going to give me x squared, y squared? xy times xy, absolutely. xy times xy. Big hint, that's where that xy in the middle comes from. All right, xy times xy would give me x squared, y squared. And then last times last has to be negative 18. What times what is negative 18? 9 times negative 2, or negative 9 times positive 2. We've got negative 6 and 3, and vice versa. Lots of options again. And what do we want to use? The first one, positive 9 and a negative 2. Very good. And again, when we check the rainbow here, the outer product, negative 2 times xy is negative 2xy, and 9 times xy is 9xy. And when we combine those, that's where our middle term comes from. What's wrong with D? It's out of order, yeah. It's kind of, well, shall we say, a backwards order. We can do it in this order, or we can rearrange. Doesn't matter, okay? But I am going to go ahead and just do it in this order because I want you to be flexible, even if it looks out of order. So I'm going to ask myself, what times what is 15? 5 times 3, sure. 5 times 3, or I could use negative 5 times negative 3 if I wanted to, but I'm generally always want to be positive to start. So 5 times 3. Last times last has to be a squared, b squared. What times what is a squared, b squared? AB times AB, or negative AB times negative AB. Those are our only options. Which ones do we need? The negatives. Yeah, we definitely need some negatives in there. So negative AB and negative AB. Let's see if this works. I'm going to check my rainbow. 5 times negative AB is negative 5AB. What's negative AB times 3? Negative 3AB. And when we combine those, we get our negative 8AB. So we did it correctly. Okay. Is this any different than what we did yesterday?
No.
No, it's not. Okay. So here's where it gets harder. These are hard trinomials because we no longer are just starting with a 1x squared. Now we have a number in front as well. And so I ask you to get started. It's always a good idea to see if there is a GCF. Is there a greatest common factor here on letter E? Nothing in common here. You might think 2, but we can't divide 5 by 2 evenly. That doesn't work, right? So we're going to jump right to double bubble. First times first has to be the first thing. First times first has to be 2x squared. What times what is 2x squared? 2x times 1x. Or 1x times 2x. That's all we've got. 2x times 1x gives me my 2x squared. And then last times last has to be negative 12. What times what gives me the last thing? What times what gives me negative 12? Negative 6 times 2, or negative 2 times 6. What else? Negative 4 times 3, or negative 3 times 4. Negative 12 times 1, and negative 1 times 12. This is the entire list of possibilities, right? Yeah, okay. And some of you are shaking your heads that none of these work like they did yesterday, do they? Where does the middle term come from, though? It comes from the rainbow. Today, because there's a number in front, none of these are going to give us a 5 when we add them together like yesterday, because there's an extra number here in front. The only way we're going to be able to know today is by checking the rainbow. So let's see what happened. Give me which one you want to try. Negative 4 times 3. All right, I'm going to plug in a negative 4 and a positive 3. It's just guessing and checking. So I want to check the rainbow. Let's see. What do we get for our outer product? 6x. 2x times 3 is 6x. What's our inner product? Negative 4x. And when we combine these, what do we get? 2x. Did this one work? Is this the only option for order? Could I switch them? Yes. So let's switch their position. I'm going to put the negative 4 on the outside and the positive 3 on the inside. So I'm changing their order. What happens when I do the rainbow now? What's the outer product? Negative 8x. And what's the inner product? 3x. All right, what do we get when we add those together? Negative 5x. Are we there? Is it right? No. What's wrong? Change the signs. We have the number. The 5 matches. Our problems are the signs. So it should be a positive 4 and a negative 3. So now when I multiply 2x times 4, we get positive 8x. Negative 3 times 1 gives me negative 3x. And now when we combine those, we get that positive 5x. So we know that it works. It is guess and check, ladies and gentlemen. That's all it is. One day you'll get good at it. Like I just write my factors out and I can just go, oh, negative 8 and 3. Oh, let's do this one. Positive 8 and negative 3. So I can do it really fast, but I've been doing this for 20 years. So, all right, let's look at letter F. First things first, is there a greatest common factor? Because those are large numbers, folks. I'm sure hoping there is a GCF in there. There is. What is it? 3. Good. There is a GCF of 3, so I'm going to divide everything by 3 because, boy, I want smaller numbers. If I take out the 3, relocate that 3, what's left behind? Oh, Anthony, you are here. What's left behind? I didn't see it before. How does this clean up, folks? 4x squared, and then negative 12x, and then 9. All right, we took out the GCF. That 3 is going to go along for the ride, and we're going to try and double bubble these leftovers here. Now, first times first has to be 4x squared. What times what is 4x squared? 2x times 2x. That's an option. Is there another option? 4x times 1x is another option. This is what we call a perfect square, and I'm always going to start there if I can. So 2x times 2x. Now, last times last should give us our last thing of positive 9. What times what is positive 9? 3 times 3, or negative 3 times negative 3. Also, negative 9 times negative 1, or positive 9 times positive 1. We got a big list here. Which one do you want to try? The negative 3s. Yeah, again, it's a perfect square. It's probably a pattern. We'll talk more about those tomorrow. So I'm plugging negative 3 and negative 3 there. And then how do I know if I did it right? Because I don't see 12 from that. How do we know we did it right? Check the rainbow. You must check the rainbow today. What's the outer product? 2x times negative 3? Negative 6x. And the inside product is negative 6x. And negative 6x and negative 6x gives us our negative 12x, which is what we were looking for. Okay? So that is our fully factored polynomial. All right, let's look at letter G. Is there a greatest common factor? No. So jump to double bubble. First times first is supposed to be the first thing. What times what is 10x squared? 5x times 2x, or I could use negative 5x and negative 2x. In general, I'm always going to start positive, though. Yeah, 10x and 1x. Which one do you want to try? I'll give you a hint. Our result is trying to be a negative 1. It's a pretty small number, right? So since I need a small number, I probably want to use smaller numbers. Okay, so 5x times 2x is what I'm going to try. And now let's look. Last times last has to be my negative 3y squared. What times what is negative 3y squared? Negative 3y times 1y. Negative 1y times 3y. And that's it, right? Those are only options? All right, what do you want to try? Negative 3y and 1y. All right, negative 3y and positive 1y. How do we know if we did it right? I've only said this like 37 times today. Oh, check the rainbow, right? All right, let's check the rainbow. What's our outer product here? 5xy. What's our inside product? Negative 6xy. And when we combine those, what do we get? Negative 1xy. Yay, it worked. First time. How about that? All right, last one, folks. Last one. Is there a greatest common factor here? No, no GCF. So double bubble. First times first has to be the first thing. What times what is 16a squared? What is it? What times what is 16a squared?
8 times 2.
8, so 8a times 2a. 4a times 4a. 16a times 1a. Got lots of options. Which one do you want to try?
16 times 1.
So remember, when you use 16 and the 1, 16a and 1a, whatever we use for the 9 is going to be multiplied by 16. Does that make sense to you? If you're multiplying something by 16, that's going to get really big, right? So I'm actually going to say, if there's a square in there, I'm going to try that. 4a times 4a. And then last times last has to be 9b squared. What times what is 9b squared? 3b times 3b. Negative 3b times negative 3b. And also 9b times 1b. Which one do you want to try? Yeah, again, if there's a perfect square, let's try that. So positive 3b and positive 3b. How do you know if you did it right? Rainbow. So when we multiply now, what's the outer product here? 12ab. What's the inside product? 12ab and 12ab and 12ab makes 24 ABs. Okay. It is literally a guess and check process. Just take a little bit of time. You'll get it. All right, this is CP 37 today.